Dude almost died as he puked up his own fecal matter. He was screaming for his mama. But a few moments before that, he was beating his chest like he was King Kong in a cage. Welcome to prison, where a wannabe gangster bit off more than he can chew. Or should I say digest. His name was Brad, but now they called him Hot Peppers. And he can only blame himself. Now, he has a prison nickname that he didn't even want. This is the story. So sit back and relax, because it's going to send shockwaves all the way down to your funny bone. Or should I say stupid bone, because that's what happened to Brad. As you know, prison guards come in and out of the prison. They work their shifts. Some of them are on 12-hour shifts. Some of them even get stuck with 16-hour shifts, depending if another officer calls in sick or for whatever reason just decides to quit because he's tired of watching dudes' booties and balls. So he says, you know what? I'm not working at that jail no more. I quit. And his wife's like, you're going to have to get a job. He's like, yeah, whatever. I'll go cut grass. But I'm not going back inside that prison with all them crazy people. And you know what? Sometimes the officers make a lot of sense, because who wants to work inside a prison? Pay ain't that great anyway. Anyway, back to Brad. Brad was one of them dudes from Shreveport, white dude. Claim his set. He was down for a gang. I forgot what gang he was in, but he was one of them Shreveport street gangs. And if you know anything about Shreveport, they got a lot of Chicago and LA, California gangs in Shreveport. They used to call it Baby LA, Baby Chicago, because a lot of dudes from the Gangster Disciples in Chicago and the Vice Lords, they came down to Shreveport to start sets. And a lot of dudes were Crips and the Bloods in California. For whatever reason, they all navigated towards Shreveport, Louisiana. So Shreveport is like a mixture of all the gangs that were actually started from people in LA and Chicago who were in the gangs. And in Shreveport, it goes that some of the, some of the white dudes who live in Shreveport, just like New Orleans area, they claim. When I was young, I claimed that stuff too. But anyway, Brad was in there, and he was a cool little dude. He wasn't no punk or nothing, but he always was bragging about how he was more than he really was. And they had a conversation one day, because the guards used to sneak in jalapeno peppers, habanero peppers, ghost peppers, bonnet peppers. You know what I mean? And because dudes want to use them to make their hookups. If you know what a hookup is, that's where they take the soup, ramen noodle soup. They swell it all the way up. Excuse me. They chop it up with a tuna can or a beef can, top that they turn into a little butcher knife. Wop, 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 wop. Dudes chopping up summer sausages and ramen noodles and whatever else they sell in the canteen, or if they could sneak something back from the chow hall, such as, some chicken or something like that. Wop, wop, wop. You think they got a full-fledged sushi bar on top of the day room table. Stainless steel table, got the spread laid out. They got a dude, man, they had one dude, man, he had two of them, two blades he turned into butcher knives, sushi knives, and he was chopping it up. Wop, 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 wop. Anyway, they were chopping up them peppers. And my boy Brad used to beat his chest. Man, I can handle any kind of hot food, because they had a conversation. The guard was in there. And Brad was like, man, I could eat any kind of hot food, man. Spice don't mess with me at all. And they had Amigo in there, man. He was from Mexico. And Amigo, he used to eat that hot food. He wasn't scared to eat no spicy food. Whenever his family came visit him, Amigo used to get the spiciest food. He didn't bother him at all. And he even knew that ghost peppers, Migo used to say in that, that Mexican accent, he'd be like, no ghost pepper, very little, and he put a little bit, So the dude, Brad, was bragging and everything. Like, I could eat these hot peppers better than anybody else. Nothing phases me, man. He said, if I had them, I could eat 10 of them. And the guard said, 10 of them, man? Most people are puking up their guts eating a half of one. And Brad's like, I bet anybody in here, I'll eat 10. Dude said, I bet you won't bet your booty. Brad said, man, I'll bet my booty right now in front of everybody, because I know I can handle it, that I eat 10 habanero bonnet peppers. So the guard says, okay, Brad, since you so tough, I'm gonna bring some Scotch bonnet peppers inside this prison and some ghost peppers. I'm gonna bring 5 Scotch bonnets and 5 ghost peppers, and I'm gonna bring the hottest ones they got in Bossier City. And the dude was like, yeah, bet. And the dude said, man, you just bet your booty. He said, you betting your booty? He said, man, I'm gonna turn myself out if I can't eat all 10 of them. Sometimes dudes get so beside themselves, they don't think about where they at. They say stupid stuff. And Brad was just speaking outside his head. He wasn't a punk. He had gotten a few little fist fights here and there, He was cool with a lot of dudes. Nobody was playing for him. He wasn't he wasn't King Kong like he beat his chest and made himself out to be. But the dude was putting more spotlight on himself than anybody else was putting on him. You don't need to put the spotlight on yourself. Don't be stupid. So that's what Brad was being, stupid in prison. That's why I said earlier, it's stupid bone. But anyway, the guard said, all right, I'm going to bring it. And so all the other, inmates in the dorm, they're like, all right, say Cap, you're going to bring that. And look, just because the inmates call somebody Cap don't mean they're Cap. They call a lot of the free people Cap. That's what they said. Cap, say Cap, you're going to bring that? And Cap said, yeah, I'm going to bring it. You know what I mean? So Cap, the sergeant, the officer, next time he comes on shift, he brings in 5 Scotch bonnet peppers and 5 ghost peppers. He said he found the hottest ones he knew he could find out in the free world. Well, he brings them in at the beginning of his shift. Well, the beginning of his shift is, still during the day. He says once the yards and everything shut down, he's going to come inside. He already gave the peppers to one of the dudes, the tier rep. The tier rep had the peppers, and he's like, I'm going to hold on to him, Sarge. He said, hold on to him, because this dude said he's going to turn himself out behind these peppers. We're going to see. And so now dudes in other dorms now heard about this, and people are betting. They got over and unders on if this dude's going to be able to eat all 10 of these. Well, what's even more interesting is the booty bandits inside the prison. They really interested, because they like, yes, I hope this dude don't eat it, because, man, look, they're going to turn him out if he don't eat these 10 peppers. And so the whole compound knows now, word got on the compound that Brad is going to eat 10 of the hottest peppers that ever exist. And if he don't eat them, he's going to turn himself out. So anyway, there's a lot of drama, and there's a lot of buildup to what he's about to do. And I'm going to tell you something else. When he came back off the yard, because he was nonchalant about it, and he laid his head on the pillow, the tier rep, he put 2 of the peppers underneath his pillow. Because, you had to wait for count time. You can't do nothing. You get stuck on your bunk for count. People lay down on their bed and chill out, and you can't talk or nothing. So Brad lays his head down. He puts his hand. Dudes knew that the tier rep put him on there, and Brad, he got them peppers, and everybody's kind of ha-ha and kiki and laughing at the dude because he got them peppers. And he looking at these peppers, and he's like, he's kind of sitting there and nothing, saying nothing. He got one Scotch bonnet and 1 ghost pepper in his hand. Anyway, so we get fast forward. The evening comes, count time's over with. Officer comes back in the dorm. He said, okay, let's do this. Now, the officers are betting too. You got to keep in mind, even though the officers come and go back and forth home, they also stuck in the jail for 12 to 16 hours or whatever amount of time they're in there. They're in the dorm with you that entire time too. So they consider themselves doing time, even though they're not really doing time. They're just working for a paycheck. Well, Brad gets them peppers. They laid out on the table. Keep in mind, there ain't no milk in here neither. He ain't got no milk. He ain't got no dairy to knock this spice out. This is prison. He got water. He got, what they call this orange powdery, sugary drink that you can make. He got that. And they got coffee. And he got water and maybe some sodas. That's it. There ain't no dairy. So he's in there, and he wasn't smart enough to sneak any in from the child hall. If he had common sense, he would have snuck in some milk from the child hall. But like I said, Brad wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Anybody who says they're going to bet their booty to eat some peppers is an idiot, period. You can't earn no stripes on that. Man, sometimes it's best just to shut up, sit down on your bunk, and do your time quietly. You ain't got to have no spotlight. The dudes who got spotlights on them are in prison, or punks and chumps for whatever reason, or they really are Godzilla and King Kong. They're about that. That's it. Be in the middle. I'm in the middle, man. I'm going to fight if I have to, but I ain't trying to put no unnecessary attention on myself. Brad was a dummy. So here we are. Dawn. All his rounds, they tell him, Brad, you got this, Brad, you got this, dog, you got this, Pete. And he's like, yeah, I got this, I can do this, man. You know what I mean? Here we go. He got water. They call them tumblers. He got them plastic tumblers lined up full of water. He got some of that orange juice mix, and he even had some coffee. You know what I mean? Not like hot coffee. He had like lukewarm coffee that he had made with some, what they do have, I'm not going to lie, they do have non-dairy creamer, but it's not dairy. So he got the coffee, the sugar made up, and he got all different type of stuff to wash this stuff down. The officer's in there. Now the officer can't just get caught up, so he's kind of roving the different dorms too, but he's peeping in there looking. He knows what's going on. And some of the other officers came in there peeping too. They're like, man, y'all crazy, man. And tell them, they said, y'all gonna turn that boy out behind them peppers, and people are laughing. They say, ain't nobody gonna turn me out. Ain't nobody gonna turn me out. I wouldn't have said this if I couldn't did it. I'm a gangster. Yeah, you gangster, all right. You're gonna be gangster. You know what I mean? You're gonna be wearing some of this orange pink lipstick that they make out of that sugary powder drink instead of drinking it because you trying to bet your booty. Anyway, here we are. He eats the first pepper. Crunch. You know, he ain't got no little, and Migo's right there too. Migo's watching him. Migo's like, man, this white boy about to eat these peppers. I'm from Mexico. I used to eat these peppers all the time. I ain't never ate 10 of them. He eats the first one. Brad got it. Crunch, crunch, crunch. You know what I mean? That first 2-3 minutes, nothing don't hit you. But then my eyes start watering. His eyes are watering. And he only took a bite of one. And everybody knows that at this pace, he ain't going to get it. He's chewing it. He's like, all right, yeah, there's a little something, ain't nothing. He swallows it, cuts a couple cough, eyes still watering, takes a sip of that water. He only on water right now. Take a sip of that water. He's like, ooh, that water made it more hot. He was like, oh, it's hot. Then he touched himself. And this is, see what I'm saying? This is downward spiraling real quick. Does that. Now he got it on his hand. So he touched the thing, bite it, chewing it. He gets through the first one. He starts beating his chest like King Kong, like I said. He back and forth. He walking back and forth. He 1.5 peppers down. He huffing and puffing like Puff the Magic Dragon, and he's barely 2 peppers in. And I'm thinking to myself, I'm watching, I'm like, man, this dude's gonna get turned out behind a stupid challenge. And other dudes is like, I'm talking to my rounds, my rounds are right there. We sipping out coffee, we laughing and joking too. My rounds are telling me, saying, man, say milk, they call him milk, say milk, that dude's stupid. I said, man, that dude's wild, bro. I said, man, so he goes. So he's on the third one. Crunch. By the time he gets into the third one, and look what he's doing. He's doing 1 Scotch bonnet pepper, 1 ghost pepper, 1 Scotch bonnet pepper, 1 ghost pepper. Like that, doing one or the other. He's on that coffee now. Dude got coffee on his shirt, got everything. And look, them dudes in prison don't play that. You said you're going to eat 10? You couldn't even leave a pepper seed. If he had a pepper seed, I'd let me say, bro, look, on the table, you got to get that seed. You know what I mean? He put his finger on it, got a seed on his finger. That's when he hit his eye for the first time because he had so much water. He was sweating and he had spit everywhere. He touched his eye. And when he touched his eye, he went, ah! And they said, there you go. That's how you're going to sound when you're giving your booty up. Ah! Ah! That burnt his eye. Dude was like, nah, don't cry now. Don't cry now. Go ahead. You want to tap out? And so all the dudes are hitting the table. You going to tap? You going to tap? And Brad's like, I ain't tapping. Man, he 4 peppers in. He still got 6 peppers. Spit, snot. He got snot coming out his nose, in his mouth. It's going down his face. You know what I mean? It's on his shirt. You know what I mean? He's just sitting there, man. I'm hoping he don't scratch himself down in that area, man. You know what I mean? I'm looking. That's all the stuff that's going on. Them dudes are like, tap, bro, tap. Them dudes are going to their locker and say, bro, I bet you a double or nothing. They going to get they got laundry bags. They coming back with laundry bags full of Zuzus and soups and sodas and deodorant and all that. They betting, they dumping on the table. Double or nothing. White boy ain't going to finish it. The white boy ain't going to finish it. And dudes are like, man, this dude's in trouble. You know what I mean? And the guards over there said, y'all going to get that booty, huh? Y'all going to get that booty. Y'all ain't going to get it on my watch. The guards will jost too. Something about guards in Louisiana prisons, and I'm going to tell y'all some more stories. Guards in Louisiana prisons are brutal. They could either be cool, where they doing time with you, or they could be the exact opposite, where they will beat you and take your life. Anyway, back to Brad, the dummy. So he's on his 6th or 7th pepper, and he's sweating. And this is what he's doing, literally. He's walking back and forth. He's like, dang, y'all. Dang, mama, I want my mama. And that's why I say he was crying for his mama. He was really crying for his mama. And he's walking back and forth. He's pacing like this. Dude his rounds are making him extra coffee. You know what I mean? And so he grabbing his face like that. And he's like on number 7. And it's getting crazy. It's getting brutal. I don't know. I'm over there thinking to myself, man, I don't know if Brad's going to do it. And now at this point, he's screaming so loud that the dudes from the other tiers that you can't, we're separate tier, but you can hear the dudes on the other tiers, and they're like, say, Brad, that boy gonna turn himself out. You can hear people yelling, scream, the whole pod, the whole area. People are getting crazy. They screaming, dudes are beating tables. And we about 40 minutes into this challenge, and my man still got a few peppers left. I'm thinking to myself, man, even if he makes it, I think they're going to take his booty anyway, because this dude's stupid. Anyway, he gets to number 10, man. By time he gets to the 8th pepper, he's already puking. And let me tell you what happens. This is where it gets real crazy. See them dudes in the jail? They betting. And see, there's rules to the thing, just like a football game. There are tickets that they play, and when they bet on something, like I said, they bet on spider fights, they bet on snail racing, cockroach racing, they bet on everything. Dudes bet on cards, dudes bet on dominoes, dudes bet on Scrabble, they bet on any and everything. So there's money on the line now. So when he puked, the dude said, nah, bruh, that don't count. And Brad's like, and they're like, nah, man, he got to eat that. They're like, he got to eat it? And now Brad's looking at it like, man, I'm telling you, tell a white boy if he don't eat that puke. Because see, he said, he ain't going to play me like this, bro. That don't count. And the dude said, nah, I won. And so now they arguing. So they came up with a rule. The only way it counts, he can't puke nothing up. He got to eat that. You know what I mean? So he had to get down on the ground and lick up everything he puked up. This fool got himself in such a dilemma that he was on the ground licking up and slurping up stuff that he puked out to save himself from getting turned out. Poor Brad. Anyway, he's licking up the puke. He finally gets to the 10th one, man. Migo's sitting there like this. No good, no good. I tell, no good, no good. Blanco white boy, no good, I tell. He couldn't barely speak no English. They said, say, Migo, you gonna finish? He said, he gonna finish. He gonna finish, no booty give, no booty give. They said, Migo, he said, no, Banco give the booty. And dudes is laughing, right? And so they betting, and see them gangsters made them, and them dudes are screaming from the other tier. Say, they calling people they know. Say, bro, he got it, white boy got it. And they're like, nah, he puked it up. They say he puked it up. He said, nah, we got the rules, man. He got to eat all that. They said, all right. So he's eating all that, man. By this time, man, the lieutenant makes his round. And my boy Brad, he's chewing number 10. I'm telling you, this dude's in so much pain. I think he's blind at this point. He can't see because he done rubbed his eye. He like, I can't see. They say, you can't see. You're going to see that thing when it pop up on you and hit you in the back. You're going to see that. We're going to cure your blindness when one of them bandits stick you in your booty. And he like, man, I can't see, man, I can't see. He rubbing his eyes. He got snot. He got puke. I think at this point he done peed his own pants. You know what I mean? He took his shirt off. You know, he's wiping himself. He done licked the puke off the ground. He's on the 10th pepper, a ghost pepper. And this is all happening inside a prison dormitory. Who said that they don't have entertainment in prison? Dudes are brutal. Drama. So he's finally eating it, man. He gets to the thing, man. The lieutenant comes down there. He figured it was going. The dude's screaming, I need a medic. I need a medic. He licked all that puke up before they got him out of there. And he ate everything, man. He ate everything. So when it was all said and done, I think everybody agreed that Brad had won the challenge. He was so scared that he put himself in a dilemma. From that day forward, they started calling him Hot Peppers. That's right. Brad was now Hot Peppers. Hot Peppers, the almost prison punk. Man, that's the type of crazy stuff that happens in prison. That's the type of stories that you don't really get to hear anywhere else. But you watching the Pen and the Shank, the most unusual and unique crime and prison-related channel on all of YouTube. So if you're not subscribed, give me a like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification. I promise you, I got more stories, even crazier than this one. I got so much that I don't think I would live long enough and be able to tell you all the stories. So come along for the experience. Come along for the journey. You know what I mean? And you can go share this video with others so they can know about Hot Pepper Brad. Anyway, man, share in the comments what you thought about this story. Man, poor dude. If only he had some milk. Man, he drank that coffee, though. He drank that coffee and that creamer. This fool thought it was really creamer. He like, that's dairy. The dude, that's what, now I'm getting remember. He thought that was actually dairy. The dudes were like, man, no, that's non-dairy creamer. So he thought it was going to help cut it, but he didn't think that through because he could have snuck in a carton of milk or a couple cartons of milk. Dudes would have helped him, but nobody thought that far in advance. He come to find out when he came back to the dorm, because he came back to the dorm, he didn't get turned out, but dudes were still trying to go and get him after that because he put himself on the chopping block. So now he was, he had spotlight on him. So everybody knew him as Hot Peppers, but he finished that challenge, Him and Migo got real cool, Migo had respect for him, Migo's like, they said, Migo, you could have done it. Migo said, not try, no try. I eat because it tastes good with food. That's it. And they're like, all right, Migo, cool. Anyway, give me a like and subscribe. Man, let's get it.